Hi, I'm Dr. Scott Carson from the Rice Learning Center. I'm here to talk to you about the evidence-based practices consultation from the Indiana Resource Center for Autism. We have been in the program for 2 years, working with Catherine Davies. The program has done remarkable things for our children. The number of misbehaviors, I think, everybody worries about misbehaviors. The number of misbehaviors that we have experienced have dropped dramatically. I expected that environmental modifications would probably get us 25% reduction. I'm guessing that we're more 75 to 90 looking at our data, especially the use of the visual systems, the structured work task. One of the things that happened is once the teachers saw how much it could help the kids and how it was being implemented in one classroom, they went and implemented it in all the other life skills classrooms in the building. So we were able to, instead of having one class do it, at that time we had 7 classes that were implementing it, which I thought was pretty remarkable. The visuals became something that were used everywhere. Working with the Resource Center, they were able to consult with our adaptive physical ed teacher, our media center, our music teacher. We had visuals everywhere and still do. The strategies, it's kind of amazing to watch when people are working with a kid who's upset and someone else steps in, and the way they do it is they don't talk, they just use the visuals. And it's made a big difference. We have several kids that even understanding the visuals. One, instead of having pictures, wanted words. And when we found out that words would work for him, it was amazing. One of the things that I think really benefited us here at the Rice Learning Center was just the amount of information and hands-on work that we got from the Resource Center. We had several all-staff trainings. We had individual consultations. In between times, we were getting emails. If we had a question, we could send an email, and it would come back with an answer, and it would come back with the research or pictures. I'm a very big visual learner, and a lot of our staff are. And the biggest thing that I think helped me in understanding how to set up the physical environment was actually just a series of pictures that they gave us about how an environment might look or how this might look. And then the ability to work with us, because our classrooms aren't as big as some of the other classrooms in some of the examples, so we had to modify, and then letting us modify and figure out how to work it so we could own it, so it could work in our facility, I think was a very important step. One of the reasons that I think that our consultation with the Resource Center on Autism has worked so well has been that the relationship that we have with our consultant. Our consultant is Catherine Davies, and it's very collegial. We don't feel like we're getting talked down to. Our staff do not feel like they have to be defensive. They're able to ask a question if they don't know something and don't feel judged. I think that that's been very important, because early on, this was very scary to a lot of teachers. And the more they got to talk with Catherine and see how she was doing things, it became easier for them to continue to talk, to ask problems, to ask for help with situations that they might have been embarrassed to ask someone else for help with. Sometimes people ask what it took to implement it here. In terms of cost, we were able to get used furniture from an office store, which helped us with some of the visual boundaries. Tables, chairs, desks from places like that, much cheaper and in good quality to make the room set up. So one of the first things was setting up the structure of the classroom. One of the things I think that was important about the Resource Center is they viewed us as multimodal learners too. So they gave us visuals, they gave us extra internet supports, they answered individual questions. They got stuff to us so that we could address the problem instead of giving us sort of a single formatted answer. This is the way it is and this is how you do it. So we had to adapt things, and the ability to adapt things came from having all those different models, examples, and the fact that it was evidence-based practice has helped us with parents We've been getting students who have been coming out of applied behavior analysis centers, and the parents are concerned that their students won't be getting, or their children won't be getting applied evidence-based practices. We're able to demonstrate, no, we follow evidence-based practices. We are using them, and we've lined them up. We were able to use, and sometimes give them the Indiana Resource Center for Autism website. Here, look, here's a access point where you can go and you can find these. We have some parents that will go do the research, and so it's nice that we quickly have all this stuff at our disposal to give to them to show what we're doing. While it may look simple and it may look too easy sometimes, is exactly what we need to be doing for the student, and it works for the student. We continue to use the Resource Center for consultation because there's still, you might be able to figure out what to do for 8 students, but you still have 2 students that you really kind of need some more guidance with. The capacity that's been built here among our teachers is really quite amazing. They've become problem solvers. They've started taking things over. They come up with ideas. I mean, even last year, our custodian asked when he saw all the visuals why we didn't have one at the cafeteria line. And so now there's visuals at the cafeteria line. We talked about putting visuals of choices at the cafeteria line because of that. Getting everybody involved and getting everybody to understand it and for them to see how it works has really been very remarkable.